thank you guys so much for hopping on. I appreciate it. I know that, as always, I know that you guys got busy schedules. So I appreciate y'all being able to hop on and spend some time with me. This is really exciting. Um, Last week I was actually in Derek's office, and that was cool. But he's actually in Canada right now. He's in Montreal. Um, and he's really just doing his thing out there. I know that he's been posting on Instagram, as far as I know he's done a couple different podcasts, and he's been presenting some other things that we got going on. So that's super, super exciting. Last week, guys, what we had talked about was how to filter um, your leads when you make that initial point of contact with them over the phone. And just as a super, super quick recap on that, we want to make sure that when you're on the phone with them, that you are telling them how your process works, okay? You are asking them good questions. You are making sure that you are a good fit for one another, okay? You are interviewing them, not the other way around, okay? So we want to make sure that you guys are filling up your schedules with quality leads, with clients that are willing to go through your process. Again, you guys are the professionals. You guys are the ones that are actually, steering the ship, driving the ship. So after you go through that qualifying section of your process, when you're on the phone with them, everything sounds good. You're going to go meet them. You follow up with them. Everything's good. All decision makers are there. Now we want to make sure that we are setting the proper expectations with them once you are on site with them, and taking them through the process of everything, okay? So this next section here, guys, is very, very important. This is how we make sure that we are not in the same pool as every other contractor, doing the same exact thing as every other contractor. What we are doing is we are separating ourselves from everybody else who just goes through the same mainstream process on everything. There is a reason as to why we ask the questions that we do. There is a reason why we have this process in place, and that is to make sure, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, that your project goes as successful as possible, so that you're able to make all of your decisions up front. I can bid out bid out your project as accurately as possible, because we're going to have a proper design and plan. And most importantly, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, we are drastically decreasing any chances of any change orders or miscommunication that is going to save you guys thousands of dollars and weeks of time. Nobody wants to spend more than they already have to, right? So we want to make sure that we're getting everything that they need, their wants, their needs, everything like that, in a proper design and plan to make sure that their project goes as successful as possible. So welcome to the second week of our webinar. Thank you guys for hopping on again. I'm going to go through a couple different slides here and chat through the best process, or really what works, for a lot of our clients, and what we, really structured early on within Your Haven when we were just doing designs for homeowners, right? So first and foremost, this is called the $1 million question, okay? And this $1 million question is the question that sells the design for you. We want to make sure that we are asking it early, and then we stop talking, so that the homeowner speaks. We get all of the information that we need, so we can provide them a proper design and plan on everything, okay? So first slide here is the problem. I am also guilty of this problem as well, okay? This is what I used to do, okay? As soon as you get on site, you start talking, and they will just essentially kind of tune you out on that, okay? It's great that we have a presentation. It's great that we have a process. That's awesome, but we also want to make sure that they are just as engaged as we are to them. Okay? We don't want them to tune us out. We don't want to be just another contractor that's going through a lead, or going through a bid, going through an estimate. We want to be intentional when we are on site with them. Okay? So guys, whoever asks the question is in control. The sale is made by what the homeowner says, not by what you say, okay? We want to make sure that we're steering them in the right direction to ensure that we are getting all of the information that we need, but we also want to educate them and explain as to why we ask the questions that we do and why we have the process set in place, okay? So first things first, guys. we do not want to lead with a question that is too open. Okay, so a lot of mistakes that contractors will make, again, I was guilty of this myself, is going on site and saying, all right, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, thank you guys for meeting me. What is your guys's, what is your guys's plan here? What do you guys want to do with your project here? Okay, that is too open of a question, and that is a very hard question to answer. Okay, and that's what a lot of other contractors are doing as well. They're just leaving it up to the homeowner for them to tell us what they want. Okay, cool, we're gonna put together a bid for you and an estimate for you, and then we're just going to go from there. No, that is not intentional. There is a reason behind all of this. So the actual question that we want to ask them, as opposed from what are you guys looking to do with your space, is Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, please walk me through how you use this space now. What does a typical Saturday look like out here? What they're doing by that is they're painting a picture of how they live their day-to-day lives and what their goals are. Okay, that's going to help them actually understand what they actually do as well, because they can even kind of, it's almost kind of just background noise to them. So when you actually ask them to be intentional about, walk me through what you guys actually do, how do you guys utilize this space now, what are your guys' goals, like, it helps you guys be on the same page. At that point, you guys are now working as a team as opposed to a contractor and a homeowner. Okay, so walk me through how you guys use this space now. What does a typical Saturday look like out here? Also good questions to ask, which we'll get into here in a second as well, is, hey guys, do you guys host? Do you guys like having people over? Do you guys typically just utilize this space for yourselves? Do you guys have kids? Do you guys have pets? Walk me through all of this, right? So that's going to give you a much better understanding of how they utilize their space and what their goals are, okay? Every answer is a door, and why is what's behind it. We want to make sure that we are asking them, that's outstanding that you want that. Why do you guys want this? Okay? Because it's not just necessarily about what they want on a surface level, but going deeper and understanding their reasoning behind why they want the things that they want. That is best case scenario, because that's what you're going to be designing on, and that's exactly what closes. Okay? What's super important, this is what I want you guys to really, really tell your homeowners as well, is the reason as to why I'm asking you all of these questions, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, the reason why I'm asking you why you want the things that you do is because when I put together this design and I put together this plan and I put together this estimate, I want to ensure that everything is tailored and custom specifically for you. Okay, this is not just another, mainstream reuse design or reuse bid, and you're just kind of pulling, you guys with every other client that we've ever had. No, this is a proper design and plan specifically for you guys. They're going to love hearing that, because they're going to know that A, you're listening to them, and B, something that is custom and tailored specifically for them sounds a whole lot better than something that's just mainstream, reuse, something that you guys, are always doing, right? Everything needs to be personable. Everything needs to be custom. Make sure that they understand the reason why I'm asking you guys this, because it is my job as the professional to make sure that everything is custom and tailored specifically for you guys, so that you guys can utilize this space as you guys want to. Okay. The fire pit test. This is such a huge thing. A lot of people ask for a fire pit or a fireplace, things like that. Okay. Again, this is something that I was guilty of in the past as well, is when they say, yeah, I think we want a fire pit over here. Awesome. That all sounds good. You write it down and then you keep moving and you keep talking. You don't even address it, why they want the fire pit. Okay. So the better move here, as opposed to just listening, writing it down, and then going on to the next step, is to stop, pause, and ask them, awesome. Have you guys ever had a fire pit before? How many nights a week are you guys really out here? How many times are you really looking to utilize this, okay? Because here's the thing, is the fire pit, like, that's great, that's awesome and all, but if you're hardly going to utilize it, if you're really not even going to use it all that much, you're investing a lot of money into this project. And that alone, you're spending anywhere from $10, $12, $15,000 on a fire pit, and that's if you even use it at all. there is a lot of different ways to where we can utilize that investment towards something else within your property, right? Maybe that's something to where we can upgrade a space to where you guys are actually utilizing. Or you can even use that for something else outside of your outdoor living project, right? But we want to make sure that we are making smart financial investments, okay? You guys do not want to throw money down the drain. We want to make sure that we are intentional, that we have a plan, and that there is reasons as to why we are installing the things that we are installing, okay? So we want to make sure that this is the right call. Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, have you guys ever had one before? How many nights are you guys actually out here, okay? It is my job to make sure that you guys are investing and spending your money wisely when it comes to this. That's my whole job here, okay? So, excuse me. I'm kind of dealing with a little bit of a cold right now, so I'm trying to battle through that. So I appreciate you guys bearing with me on this. So, 2 answers, 2 right outcomes. If they're out here 3 times a week and they're actually utilizing their outdoor space like that, obviously, okay, cool. If you guys are going to utilize this, if you're actually going to enjoy it, if you guys host a lot, if you guys have a lot of family that comes over, you have friends, you have weekly get-togethers, whatever the case is, and you guys are going to utilize this, outstanding. That sounds like you guys are actually going to really enjoy this fire pit and you're going to get a lot of use out of this. That makes it worth it to at least put it in the design, right? Now, if it's something to where it's just the holidays or, on occasion, or sometimes they have family come into town to spend some time with them, guys, it is your guys' job. It is your guys' duty to make sure that they are really getting everything that that they want, obviously, but we want to make sure that we're smart about it, okay? Same exact thing with like an outdoor kitchen, right? If they're out there all the time, if they love to cook, if they love to grill, if that's typically where they spend a lot of time, absolutely, right? That's something to where we can even leverage that initial investment for your fire pit into your outdoor kitchen, because that's where you're going to spend a lot of the time, right? But if it's something to where, if they're not really utilizing it, do they really need all the bells and whistles? Do they really need that, that section of their space? Maybe not. But that is the whole point, and that's the reason as to why the design and the plan is so important, so that once you finalize everything, they're happy, you're happy, you guys get it installed efficiently, again, drastically decreasing any chances of any change orders, miscommunication, making sure that the project goes as smooth as possible, okay? Extremely important. After this whole process happens, you ask them the questions why they want the things that they want. You ask them about what their day looks like, what their goals are. We have to make sure, this is a non-negotiable, we have to make sure that we are reiterating their words back to them, okay? What really separates legit contractors and contractors that are just kind of putting together an estimate, kind of half-ass some things, is to let the homeowner know, I heard you. I understand what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. So we're reiterating it back to them, okay? Okay, so it sounds like that you guys do host a lot. It sounds like that you guys typically have family over, 2 to 3 times a week. That's outstanding. You want to make sure that you have an area to where you guys can all sit around. You guys can enjoy the fire pit. You guys are out here cooking a lot. So you definitely want to make sure that you have everything that you need in order to be a proper host and to make sure that you guys can share the memories with your family. You guys want your house to be the hangout house, right? Once you go through all of that, make sure you ask them, is that accurate? Am I missing anything? Okay? When they understand, wow, this contractor actually listened to me, he actually is tailoring this all to me, that is going to stick in their head so much more when you leave than a contractor that just kind of listened and then just wrote everything down and said, all right, cool, I'm going to bring back an estimate for you guys, okay? We want to make sure that they're understanding you guys are on the same team and that you are not just a contractor providing them another bid, okay? This is your guys' space. This is your guys' backyard. This is your guys' front yard. This is where you're going to spend the most time. This is a big investment for you guys. We want to make sure that we get it right. Okay, we are, and regardless, right, this is kind of going into a little bit of a pullback of what we talked about last week as well. is when you're speaking with them, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, regardless on if you move forward with me or not, my job is to make sure that you guys have all of your questions answered and that you have a proper plan moving forward, okay? At the very least, whether you go with me or not, I want to make sure that you guys are taken care of at the best of my ability. Okay, you guys are not there to close a deal. You guys are servant leaders. You guys are the leaders, right? So you want to make sure that they understand you're on the same team, and regardless of what happens, you are there to make sure that they get everything that they need. They have all of their questions answered, and they feel very, very comfortable talking with you. Typically, what that does is that builds a lot of trust in that little bit of a pullback in itself, because you're relieving the pressure of having them, of you closing a deal or having that mindset of I need to close this deal. That goes back into the confidence aspect of it, of the abundance mindset, okay? I'm not here to close you guys. I'm here to make sure that I'm helping you, okay? So when you reflect it back to them, you guys said the main thing was a space that the family actually wants to spend evenings in. That's what this design is built on. This is not necessarily a technique, but it is proof that you listened to them and that they understand that you are there to help them out, okay? They're not going to want to shop around for a bunch of different bids, and even if they do, they're going to be comparing. They're going to be comparing your guys' interaction compared to your other contractors that were there as well. So the best way, guys, is to make sure you're asking intentional questions. Contractors don't typically ask those kind of questions. That's actually a good point. This contractor knows what he's doing. This contractor actually cares. This contractor wants to make sure that everything is tailored and custom to me, and he just reiterated back everything over. Okay, I know that he understands. I'm excited to see what this guy provides back to me. You're at the very, very top of their list. So when you leave, they're excited. You're excited, okay? And again, your tonality is everything. Your body language is everything. Your energy is everything, because they are going to react off of that. If you're monotone, if you're just kind of, going through the motions, things like that, they're going to notice that. Not only are they going to say, not even be like super memorable about, contractors that do that. Again, they're going to compare it to the guy that was full of energy, that was positive, that was asking intentional questions, making sure that they understand, right? So, huge part. Here's what I really, really want you guys to do when you're on site next, after you've qualified them, after you've taken them through the process, after you have confirmed their meeting. Once you're on site, ask the $1 million question early on. Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, walk me through what your day-to-day looks like. Walk me through what your Saturday looks like, okay? Follow up every single question. Awesome. Why do you guys want a fire pit? Why do you guys want an outdoor kitchen? Why do you guys want a pergola? Why do you guys want a pool? So that when we're really, really digging, we're getting all the information that we need in order to provide a proper design and plan. And if it comes about to where, you ask them the question and then they actually really think about it, like, you know what, you're right, we don't actually need a fire pit. Thank you for bringing that to our attention, right? And then after that, let them talk. We're guiding them. We're not talking over them. We're not talking for them. We are guiding them, and we are letting them answer the questions that we are asking them, okay? So that's essentially what this section is. This one was also a little bit shorter as well, but when you piece these two together from the very rip, from the first time that you guys are on the phone with them, okay? It is all about your professionalism. It is all about being intentional. It is about setting the proper expectations. And it is about making sure that you guys are a good fit for one another, okay? Once you take them through that entire process, they're going to know from the start this guy was professional, asked great questions, he has a process in place, he's not unorganized, he actually has a full process design plan set up specifically for me, okay? So, guys, that was the second section of this webinar here. I hope that that was really informative for you guys. Every single piece, every single section is extremely important, because once you do this a couple times, it just becomes second nature. and it becomes a lot easier to understand who your clients are. Are they a good fit for you? Taking them through the process once you're actually on site with them, building the rapport, educating them. Okay, this is not going through the motions. Every single project, every single estimate, every single conversation, we are doing it intentionally, right? So that's essentially what that section is. Did anybody have any questions? I don't know if you guys can actually chat with me, if I can hear you guys, or you can put it in the chat. But that is section 2. I'll wait a couple minutes to see if anybody has anything to say, any questions. Thomas, my man, how we doing? Oh, damn, I can't hear you. Thanks for hopping on, though, brother. I appreciate you. Oh, I don't know, actually, it says that you're muted. Maybe if you have a mic or something. Thank you, Fred. Appreciate you hopping on, man. Awesome. Thank you, guys. I'm not entirely sure what this next section is going to be for next week, but I do know that Derek gets back this week from Canada, so he might be the one that's going live next week. Could also be our operations manager, Bailey. I don't think I've ever heard Bailey give a presentation or go live, so that'll be the first time for me as well. I'm excited for when he does that. Bailey's actually going to be speaking at a couple of upcoming events too, in a couple different cities, so that's really, really exciting. Yeah, I can't really see Instagram Live, unfortunately, so if there's any questions in there, maybe you guys can put it in the comments, and then we can either reach out individually, and we could have a one-on-one and just kind of chat through a couple different questions as well. Another thing, guys, if you guys are not in our school community yet, definitely encourage you guys to get in our school community after our first 100 subscribers, I guess, if that's the word for it. After our first 100, then after that is going to become a paid school community. So everybody that's currently in our school community now is going to be grandfathered into it, so they're not going to be paying for anything. So thank you guys so much for joining us early and sticking with us. Really, really appreciate that. So definitely encourage you guys to join our school community. We're going to be doing more of these webinars every single week. It's going to be all kind of rotated out in between myself, like I said, with Bailey and with Derek as well. So we're going to be going through a couple different of other sections as far as the whole process of when you're actually speaking with your homeowners, when you're actually doing the actual sales process, when you're providing the bid and you're providing the design and you're providing the estimate. So we have a lot of other exciting things that we're going to be presenting that you guys are going to have access to as well. If you guys have any questions that you would like to discuss, either one-on-one, either with myself or with Derek or with Bailey, whatever the case is, guys, please reach out to us. We are more than happy to sit and chat with you guys, right? Thomas, he put it in the chat. Awesome, man. Thomas just said, for your guys' information, I've been getting great results with everything that you guys have guided me with. Thank you, brother. Thomas, thank you, man. You have been absolutely crushing. Thomas has actually been with us from the very beginning, and he has been doing incredible work. He's typically on our webinars. He's always got questions. He's always trying to better himself in his company, and he is doing that. He is growing. He has done a phenomenal job. So thank you so much, Thomas. Appreciate you, man. But I guess aside from that, we are all good to go, guys. Again, want to express my gratitude for you guys. thank you so much for hopping on. Thank you so much for sitting with me for the last 25-ish minutes or so. Next week it's going to be the same exact thing on Thursday, so we're going to have another section for you guys. Again, join the school community.